Clubs separated by less than 200 miles square off this evening in Seaside. Monterey Bay and Sacramento Republic, two of the top three teams in the Western Conference. Clash tonight. Michael Watrangi, Chris Nurse with you with our entire crew. Hope you can come in and hang out with us here tonight. Monterey Bay had been scuffling until last week against New Mexico. This dandy of a counterattack gives them a win over the Western Conference best.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that Monterey Bay possess in abundance is dynamic players, very quick on their counterattack, and obviously the ability to finish plays. They go from defending in their own box to the go-ahead goal.
And that was Chuy Enriquez with the goal. Sacramento on the other side, unbeaten in their first 11. They give up this goal against Tampa Bay, and the Rowdies hand Sac Republic their first loss of the year.
Yeah, Sacramento Republic obviously so much at stake, still in the hunt, one of the remaining teams in the US Open Cup. Strong performances this season as we normally expect, and of course we see them right now sitting second in the Western Conference standings.
Tonight's standings are brought to you by Possibilities, where everything is possible. Take a look at the standings here. Sacramento sits in the second slot, while Monterey Bay, who went through that slog from April 20th until last week, just 5 points in that stretch, still sit in just third place. And here's the starting 11 tonight. What do you see out of this group this evening?
Yeah, it can be very, very fluid, the formation they have. Sometimes it can look like a 4-1-4-1 formation. Sometimes they play a 4-3-3. It's going to be interesting to see when the players out there how they line up tonight. But we can expect them to be very fluid in their formations.
Our player to watch for Monterey Bay is Carlos Guzman. They have a lot of players injured. Somebody's going to have to step up.
Yeah, and it's very rare that you find a defender who has so much impact in the attacking third. 9 chances created, 3 assists, 1 goal. Normally their midfielder statistics, that's coming from a defender.
Sacramento Republic has this starting 11 out there. Sebastian Herrera returns from a red card suspension last week, and Trevor Amon will come off the bench tonight.
Yeah, and with Sac Republic, obviously, we see a back 3 formation. Possibly when they're in possession of the ball. When they're out of possession of the ball, it's probably going to look more like a back 5. But this is a formation that we're seeing more frequently throughout the USL Championship. A little bit more dynamic in the wings.
Sacramento gets Justin Portillo just 2 days ago. He makes his debut tonight, one of the league's veterans.
Yeah, and we're looking at what he adds to this team, to the Sacramento Republic team. Head coach spoke about adding quality to the midfield, his mentality and his leadership. And obviously here we see his ability to score goals also. So very excited to see how he gets out there and performs tonight. He spoke about bringing 3 points back to the Sacramento Republic fans. Tonight is his start. Let's see what he does.
It's a critical matchup in the Western Conference. Monterey Bay hosts Sacramento Republic here this evening. Kickoff comes your way next. Stick with us.
Let's go! I'm about to make my grand entrance.
Do you want to go to the game tonight? Yeah!
Let's go! I am the future, yeah. I am the future, yeah. Let's go. I am the future, yeah. 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 Let's go. I am the future, yeah. I am the
Montage Health, your hometown team.
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year.
Just about ready to kick off here tonight in the sixth meeting between Monterey Bay and Sacramento Republic. Great to have you on board with us tonight. Michael Watcher and Chris Nurse and our crew watching this one here this evening. Monterey Bay looking to make it back-to-back wins for the first time since mid-April as they host Sacramento Republic, who unbeaten in their first 11, but it was Tampa Bay. They got the better of them last week. And a Sacramento team that has not won in the championship in a month. May 7th, the team's last victory in league action. Justin Portillo, a big piece to pick up for the Sacramento side. We'll chat about that as we go throughout this evening. The alternate kits for Sacramento, stone white uniforms, while the all blue for Monterey Bay here this evening. Our official tonight is Matthew Thompson. As he gets set, the whistle blows, and here we go from Cardinale Stadium in Seaside, California. And a good crowd expected here tonight. And quickly onto the front foot, Baca into the 18-yard box, reverses Fields, throws it through the middle, bounces around.
And exactly that, Monterey Bay very much on the front foot from the opening seconds of the game. Very direct and dynamic in the wings. Obviously, the fans have one eye on the table for the whole of tonight, with New Mexico currently tying with Hartford. A win for Monterey Bay would send them to the top of the Western standings.
Monterey Bay has given up 5 goals in the first 9 minutes of matches this season. And there's a nice interception. Revelar swings into the 18, throws it all the way across. Herrera catches up, or check that, Enriquez catches up. Lays it backwards, Martinez. Good early pressure, 60 seconds in. Sacramento trying to maintain a stranglehold here on the ball as it bounces around a few times. And ultimately poked forward. And now it turns into a 2-on-1 break. Time and space, cut back across, thrown into the middle, and a great save by Anthony Siaha, denying an odd man rush for Sacramento.
It's a good save from Siaha, but it's absolutely a diabolical finishing from Sacramento Republic. It was great play all the way up to the final strike and goal, breaking through at tempo, players making runs in behind, good decision making, playing the ball off for the final strike, but was absolutely no chance of beating Siaha with that strike. It's straight down the middle, on the floor, soft, after absorbing pressure in the opening 90 seconds from Monterey Bay, being very dynamic in the wings and pressing forward. Brilliant opportunity on the counter-attack and just unable to capitalize upon it.
Flag up here for offside. And how about this start? 2 minutes in, electric out of the gates, and it was Nick Ross taking the chance.
Just doesn't get any kind of power or accuracy on the strike whatsoever. Straight down the throat of Siaha. That's a huge chance wasted there for Sacramento Republic to take the lead in the opening 2 minutes of the game. And it's been Monterey Bay who have been the most front foot team, very much getting the ball and pressing in the wings immediately. Caught on the counter-attack and could have got sucker punched, but Sacramento were unable to make them pay.
Frank Gallup talked about the key to a quick and efficient start here tonight against Sacramento. Thought that he could see his side be on the front foot. This is the end of a 3-match home swing.
And it was almost the exact stat that you had just spoken about, Michael, of Monterey Bay conceding early in games. They should be 1-0 down right now in realism, but they could also be 1-0 up with the chance they had earlier. It's been a very open game in the opening 3 minutes. I feel like we've seen more action in these 3 minutes than I've seen in a 90-minute game that I just watched today.
Well, hopefully this sets the stage for what is to come tonight.
And it does bring that little bit more passion to it, given this is a derby game. We've heard the players speak about it. Sacramento wanting to bring 3 points home to the fans. It has that little bit more tenacity into it, a little bit more meaning, a little bit more passion and intensity.
Monterey Bay fans full throat here early. Team sitting on 19 points, third in the Western Conference. Very similar to last season. A great start out of the gates, a mid-season lull. Although last year cost them several slots in the standings. This year they still sit in third despite that drought.
I think when Sacramento Republic are able to get the opportunity to see that play back, they'll be kicking themselves that they didn't take the lead with that chance.
Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Montage Health. And for Sacramento, Russell Cicerone and Rodrigo Lopez, huge pieces missing for Mark Briggs' group, but Monterey Bay continues to have so many different pieces that they're without, and yet again tonight. Back spinning ball, flag goes up, offside.
Sacramento being the only team in the Western Conference in the top 5 that has a positive goal differential, +7. Comparison to New Mexico sitting top, we have -1, Monterey below -2, and Orange County and San Antonio both goal differential of 0 in comparison to the Eastern standings where they're in excess of +20. Very strange year over in the Western Conference when it comes to goal differential.
Herrera. Stutter steps, reverses. Lining this cross up, and it ends up out of play. It has been a fascinating start to the year in the West with how well Sacramento has played throughout this season. Another deep run into the US Open Cup. That'll continue for that club in a few weeks.
And it's obviously it's tough to manage your schedule and your roster when you're in multiple competitions, but it's something that good teams have to do. If you're a good team, you're going to have deep cup runs. You're going to be strong in league competitions. You're going to be playing 2 or 3 tournaments at the same time. So you have to have depth in your roster, and you have to be able to manage perform all of those tournaments well. So they have a different situation to Monterey Bay, for example, because I guess the players will have one eye being in the final 8 of the US Open Cup. They will have one eye on that. Their mind is going to be on that a little bit rather than just having one competition to focus on.
Sac Republic beat Monterey Bay in the round of 32. That match taking place May 7th. 2-0 the decision that night. Ball swings out of play. Monterey Bay looking to play quick, efficient, and fast here early.
Impressive speed of play from Monterey Bay so far. Very much 1- and 2-touch play, moving the ball very quickly, very focused and intense when they're going to press. Despite that counter-attacking opportunity they gave away in the opening 2 minutes.
Free kick coming here for Monterey Bay. Last 7 matches, goals have been at a premium. This side, they've been shut out 4 times in the last 7, and they have allowed 10. Enriquez spins it back. Baca rolls it all the way around. Sacramento team that's allowed the league low 9 goals this season, tied with Charleston in that area. How will Monterey Bay break down this unit tonight? Here's Gert slamming on the brakes.
And I think that defense has been the foundation that's allowed Sac Republic to be in such a strong position. They're conceding just 9 goals between both conferences. That's the least amount of goals conceded. So defensively, they've been very strong. They don't have the highest goal scoring conversion, but they find a way to win goals by tight margins. And good teams find a way to win games 1-0. But look at this attacking 1-touch, 2-touch play from Monterey Bay. It makes for a good speed of play. It makes the game very dynamic, very exciting so far.
Frustrated Sacramento early, giving up a couple free kicks. Monterey Bay wastes no time to put the ball back into play. Sacramento had gone a club record 16 straight matches with a goal, but they've now been shut out in each of the last 2.
be interesting to see if Monterey can sustain this speed of play. Normally, the games start very fast. Opening 15 minutes, you're able to be very intense in how you press and move the ball quickly, and then settles down a little bit after 15 minutes. But I've been impressed with how they started this game. It's been one of the quickest starts to a game that I've seen for a while in the speed of play and the way they move the ball.
This long ball out of the way. Enriquez rotates it backwards. Martinez. Baca. Martinez. Bit of space in front. Now stops. And a giveaway ultimately. Kerr intervenes. Spins around, punches this ball. Siaha comes out, and he covers. 10 minutes gone by in this one after a lightning quick start that saw each side with chances in the opening 2 minutes. 0-0 so far here in this one, the Northern California sides.
And you can see even when Siaha gets the ball, he doesn't want to hold on to it and slow down the tempo of play. They want to address the game with a high tempo. We see it goes wide, Dixon making runs in behind. They're not willing to just have the ball and possess meaninglessly at all. They want to be direct with how they play. They have purpose in their play. They have a purpose in possession.
The only time that Monterey Bay has lost on this pitch, that was May 4th against Indy 11. Sacramento has not lost on the road yet this year. Bit of pressure now. Siaha. A foul. Kerr goes through the back. Frustrated with that decision. Enriquez able to latch onto this. Two sides that have gone through a little bit of frustration. It was 6 matches in a row without a win for Monterey Bay. Goal scoring has been at a premium. Meanwhile, Sacramento, I mentioned, shut out in their last 2. 4 consecutive winless matches in the USL Championship. Loss in 3 draws. They haven't won a match in 7 weeks.
Great little pass over the top there from Enriquez.
Cross gets knocked out. And there, defending.
Monterey definitely having the better possession in these opening 15 minutes.
Pass curls around. Connor Donovan knocks it away.
Sacramento just absorbing the pressure and trying to stay defensively well as a unit, but the opportunities are there, as you saw early in the game on the counter-attack. Monterey are wide open because they have so many bodies thrown forward in the attack.
Martinez. Enriquez once more. Puts himself into a corner, and Kerr knocks it away, and we have our first corner kick of the night, brought to you by Bagel Corner. Jesus Enriquez. Steps to the ball and hits it. Get another chance at this ball.
In swinging corner, just unable to beat the defender at the near post area. But Enriquez has been very lively in his opening 15 minutes. He's been involved in everything from an attacking perspective for Monterey Bay.
And there's a foul given. It's the 6th match of the season that Matthew Thompson has officiated.
Herrera just using his experience there, a little bit of gamesmanship, just slowing down the tempo of the game a little bit. As we expected after that fast start, just the past couple of minutes, the game just slowed down a little bit for both teams now. Sacramento still yet to sustain any type of meaningful possession. It's been all Monterey Bay from a possession standpoint, but Sacramento have definitely had the best opportunity in the game so far. A squandered opportunity for a couple yards out that could have put them ahead and been in very much control of this game away from home with the upper hand.
Yeah, both shots in this match came in the opening 85 seconds. Nothing since for either side. Ball slices out. Monterey Bay has tallied back-to-back clean sheets. They have not conceded in the last 220 minutes entering the night. A lot of ripe storylines here this evening. Two of the top 3 teams in the West could very well be the contenders to get out of the Western Conference and get back into a final. Although Monterey Bay has never made the postseason in their young history.
And of course, Monterey Bay can attribute some of those clean sheets to Siaha, who's been in fantastic form of recent. Team of the week this week. He can actually attribute keeping a clean sheet right now to some poor finishing from Sacramento, because had it been a cleaner strike, they should be 1-0 in the lead, but some poor finishing means that the scorelines are still tied at 0-0.
It's a busy night around the USL Championship. And a lot of games in this window as well. Currently 5 going on, and a few more starting in about 10 minutes. And it's another foul whistle. Jack Gurr has seen enough. The 26-year-old from England has his say with Matthew Thompson.
I think the referee's giving him a warning for persistent infringement, and he's letting him know I think the next foul that he gives away is going to be a yellow card. A little bit of shirt pulling, a little bit of grabbing.
Martinez wins the race around. Enriquez. Martinez pings it forward. Enriquez gets a running start. Eventually runs out of space because Timber comes over. And another goal kick forthcoming here.
It's very difficult in the wide areas. If you look how Monterey Bay players rotate, the inside player goes to the outside player comes to the inside. It all happens so quickly, and they don't just try to penetrate on the floor. They're happy to clip balls over the top when these players are rotating also. It makes it very difficult for Sacramento to mark and stay with runners.
Phillips rings this ball in. Spins it out wide left. Ross. Hit that chance in the 2nd minute. Pivots into space here. Portillo drives one, and Siaha knocks it down.
It wasn't a bad strike at all. The ball was behind a lot of bodies, so it wasn't easy for Siaha to see, but Portillo there with the first glimpse of the threat, or what he adds to the Sacramento team. He's not scared to strike from distance.
That ball ping-pongs around. It's loose in the 18. Siaha sends it away again. 3rd save in the opening 20 minutes. Pressure mounts now. Sacramento eyes a first.
have to give Siaha credit for the 2 saves that he makes, but the finishing is absolutely diabolical. You're 5 yards out from goal, and both strikes have been straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. In honesty, Siaha saved it, but you expect him to save those. You'd expect to have a little bit more composure of your attackers in those moments. They're chances that every attacker screams for.
Gert comes away, curls it around, Siaha catches.
But some big questions being asked of Monterey Bay defensively. When they've been counter-attacked or the ball's been there with the 2 centre-backs, they've been a little bit questionable, to say the least. Every time Sacramento have got into those areas, they managed to get shots off. Not good shots, but they have managed to get shots off. In honesty, for the possession that Monterey Bay have had and the pressing and the energy that they've showed, they should comfortably be 2-0 down 20 minutes into this game.
Siaha has more saves than anybody in the league. This foul whistled.
Yeah, and if he's had more saves, you do pose question marks over the centre-backs in front of him. Sacramento, we spoke about how stingy their defense has been, just conceding 9 goals this season, but you do have to ask Monterey Bay, if they want to be up there at the end of the season, they're going to have to address some of their defensive woes. Right now, their goal differential is -2. They've conceded 17 goals this season, and in this game, they should be 2-0 down. It's only poor finishing from Sacramento why they're not 2-0 down, and Siaha being in between the sticks, he's not essentially had to do anything out of the blue or phenomenal to save these shots. They've been straight at him. So I think there's some defensive woes that Monterey Bay are going to have to address fairly quickly if they want to sustain their position at the top of the table. Very good in possession of the ball. I'm not going to take that away. But defensively, they've been susceptible every time Sacramento have gone on the attack so far in the opening 20 minutes.
Monterey Bay looking for their first shot since the opening 20 seconds. Fair. Weaves it around. Baca tosses to the middle, now retreats. That pass, too much on it. Drifts outside. Well, a good surge there from Sacramento. Doesn't lead to anything. They've had the 3 best chances in this opening 20-plus minutes. Good to have you on board tonight. Michael Watrain, Chris Nurse, and crew guiding you through this one here this evening. 2 teams that are excellent for the season. Second for Sacramento, third for Monterey Bay, but have hit a little bit of a hurdle here in recent stretches. Monterey Bay winless in 6 in a row before last week's win over the top side in the West, 1-0. While Sacramento, unbeaten in their first 11 matches of the season, suffered their first loss of the year last week against Tampa Bay.
Sacramento will be kicking themselves for not converting the chances that they've had. Their tap-ins from 5 yards out. It's not that you're asking them to bend the ball in from 30 yards or bicycle kicks. It's just straightforward finishing with composure into the corners, and they've had 2 great chances in this opening 20 minutes and failed to really test Siaha in either of them.
A team that hasn't been shut out in the last year and a half in 3 straight matches. They've been blanked in each of their last 2. Looking to end that drought tonight. Martinez. Martinez. Fouled again, and again, not much contact in it, but enough to hear the whistle.
I don't think I've seen a team move the ball better than Monterey Bay so far this season, but defensively they're definitely not the strongest, to say the least, but they're dangerous in possession. They move the ball well, they interchange position, their speed of play is good, they play in a lot of 1 and 2 touch.
But with that in mind, only 1 shot so far. How do they get that finishing piece in the attack?
Yeah, I think that's the next phase, is that they have to work the ball more into the final third. But defensively, I think it's playing into their psychology, because every time they get high up the field, they're getting caught on the counter-attack, and they probably feeling inside they could be 2-0 down despite having the better of play in possession. Definitely the wide players, Enriquez has been lively, but so has to find a way to get into the final third, drive into the box, get those cutbacks, and I think that's their pathway to success. But man-to-man marking at the back, huge question mark over that right now in the opening 25 minutes.
Portillo lofts it into the box. Donovan was the closest initially. And it takes one bounce out of play, and it goes for a corner. You bring in Portillo. Now he's the man in charge of these set pieces after it had mostly been Jack Gurr the last year plus. Portillo closing in on 40 career assists in the championship. Glides this ball in, it bangs off of a defender. And now Alex Dixon breaks away from the pack. Rebelar retreats, glides it along. Good work there by Jared Timmer, sending it backwards now to Denny Vitiello, the league leader in clean sheets this year with 5.
Good defending there from Timmer, but it's so frustrating when the Monterey Bay in this instance, or Sacramento, sorry, in this instance, you send the centre backs up 60 yards to get into the box and the ball doesn't miss the first man and it's a counter attack immediately. You'd rather them overhit that delivery rather than underhit it. The under delivery sets a counter attack for the opponents. At least the over delivery, you have a chance.
Monterey Bay again, looking for a shot attempt, and it ends up spinning backwards.
You could see the idea was there.
Now this ball hooks all the way around, and too much on that to find its initial intended target. Enriquez.
Been impressive in his opening 15 minutes, Enriquez.
Martinez gives his shot in.
Monterey Bay do a good job in the wide areas of getting 3 players. They turn it into a 3v2. They move the ball quickly, but it's just that final pass into the box that doesn't have quite the trajectory or the quality on it to give the striker something to attack in this circumstance. Gonzalez centrally.
The USL on ESPN2 kicks off the summer with a League One showdown as Forward Mason FC takes on South Georgia Tormenta on Saturday, June 15th at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Of course, it's so interesting to see how the league has grown year after year. I think last week was the busiest day in USL history, 72 games across the 3 divisions of the USL in one day. Speaks volumes just the way the league has grown and continue to grow year after year.
Yeah, 35 different states involved in that. Here in the USL Championship, a high-paced effort so far. No score, however, between Monterey Bay and Sacramento Republic. Ross leaves it backwards. Portillo had his sights set on the middle of the box. Instead, Siaha picks it up, and he's playing that ball quickly every chance that he gets.
And you see that intent from Monterey Bay to continue to keep the game at a high intensity. The second Siaha picks up the ball, he's looking to start the counter-attack immediately.
Donor spins it in from his backside back onto possession.
And in honesty, it makes for an exciting brand. They keep the tempo high, they keep the game engaging, they move the ball quick. They try not to slow down the speed of play and the momentum in the game. Try to keep the ball in play as long as possible. Have to give Frank Yanup credit.
Martinez wins the race. Throws it into the box. There's nobody over there, but it does trickle out for a corner kick. And another one here brought to you by Bagel Corner, this time from the far side.
He'll be screaming, somebody's got to be attacking that back post. The build-up plays good, and this is the reason why they're not getting the same opportunities that Sacramento have had, because players aren't attacking the areas at the right moment. The ball's hanged up at the back post. All it needs is one player making the run, attacking that area, and there's the opportunity to get yourself the go-ahead goal, but there's nobody attacking the area, so it's a wasted delivery.
Let's see if this set piece leads to anything. In-swinging, left-footed ball finds its way harmlessly, ultimately into the 6-yard box. Kai Green chases it down. The captain, Baca, second go at this ball. Bodies tangle. Sacramento clear. Good service, nobody there.
Yeah, I think both teams will be kicking themselves. Monterey Bay delivering some good service into the box, just nobody attacking the areas to finish it off. And obviously Sacramento have had good opportunities on goal that just been let down by a little bit of poor finishing.
th minute of play. We're scoreless in this match. It's been a high-tempo contest. Monterey Bay haven't had a shot since the opening 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Sacramento has had some really good chances, though.
It's been a good opening 30 minutes for the neutral. Despite the score being 0-0, it's been pretty exciting. It's been fast-paced. It's been goal-scoring opportunities. So
Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Michael Watring, Chris Nurse, and our crew watching this match with you here tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Looking for our opening goal here tonight. Monterey Bay has now gone the last 250 minutes without conceding. Sacramento on the other side, 210 minutes since they last scored. Herrera and Gert. Right back Portillo. Trying to find some space. Here's a hard shot. Second go at it from Villater. And 2 blocks critical from that back line.
Monterey Bay just doing a better job on this occasion of getting bodies back behind the ball. When those shots were coming in, they had all 11 players back behind the ball.
Enriquez. With his head up, Martinez. It's brought down in a pocket there by Dixon. Dixon again chases. Enriquez on the volley. Too much on that ball, but the best opportunity that Monterey Bay have had in the last half hour.
I think Dixon wants that ball driven low and hard across goal. It goes over him. Enriquez is hard strike to get on a target from there, but again, good dynamic counter-attack there from Monterey Bay once again. Just the quality on the final pass in the ball in the box, not quite good enough, but we see the danger that they have on the counter-attack.
Shot since the opening 30 seconds, and now Sacramento back on the front foot. Kerr. And Ross on the overlap instead throws it into the 18. Donor does well to impact that moment. Phillips.
Wild game right now. We see how dynamic Monterey Bay can be on the counter-attack, but we also can see how vulnerable they can be on the receiving end of the counter-attack at the same time.
Portillo.
They can go from scoring a goal to almost conceding a goal so quickly.
They've certainly been left open at times. But they've done enough defensively, and Siaha's made saves. The middle of this field has been seldom used. The attacking thirds have been high traffic areas in the first half hour plus. Here's Gert whipping this ball. There's a header, and Siaha again absorbs it as Phillips sends it right into his chest.
Siaha either has a magnet or Sacramento need to do a better job of aiming for the corners. Everything that they've struck on target has been straight down the throat of Siaha, straight down the center of the goal. They need to divert these chances a little bit more towards the corners and force Siaha to actually make saves rather than just standardly collecting the ball straight down his throat.
Siaha padding his league-leading save statistic. Donor chases, eventually retreats. Viniello. First regular season matchup between these clubs this year. They met in the round of 32 of the US Open Cup. Sacramento had the upper hand there, 2-0. And into the final 8 of the Open Cup. They'll be back on the field on July 9th at home against Seattle Sounders. That'll be a dandy. Good interception.
Build-up play there was good from Sacramento, but the pressing was also equally just as good from Monterey Bay.
Bodies tangle up. Where's the foul? Gurr asking for a foul on Monterey Bay. And he's going to get that call. Enriquez, ultimately, the man guilty.
I like what Enriquez brings to this Monterey Bay team. He's a little bit unpredictable when he's in possession of the ball. He has the ability to take players 1v1, good feet, quick feet, tight ball control.
Flags up for offside. And perhaps a slight shocker.
Despite being 0-0, it feels like this first half has flown by. 35 minutes in, and it's been one of the better 0-0s that I've been on.
I think if you watch this match, you would expect at least one goal at this point, the way that these two sides have been pressing. And certainly with the chances that Sacramento have had. Dixon is fouled. Lee Desmond, native of Ireland. Martinez. Again, there's just not a lot of space on that side. Now Guzman chases.
Guzman, we briefly spoke about it in the pre-game and how he contributes so much in the offensive third. Of course, he's being required in today's game to be defensively solid, but a defender that has a very high offensive output so far this season. He has 1 goal and 3 assists. For a centre-back here, Tosh at Louisville may have been the only other centre-back in the league that strikes up statistics like that in the offensive third.
Ball flung in wildly. Michael Gonzalez poked it. Revelar went down after a hard tackle. Fans getting impatient.
Because the other head coach's ball too.
Frank Yallop asking questions, trying to protect his players. Adrian Revelar. Monterey Bay have been excellent at the end of the first half. They've scored 3 times after the 45th minute this season. Is there something similar here tonight? Will one of these two sides break through in the first half and end this stalemate of 0-0?
Looking at the attire of the coaching staff, you can see the temperature's a little cooler tonight, which is probably contributing to the game being played at a little faster tempo than some of the other games that we've seen across the US today.
One score that catches my eye tonight. FC Tulsa upends San Antonio. FC Tulsa had been at the bottom of the Western Conference. 2-1 the final there. Diego Pacheco with a brace. Takes out San Antonio.
Temperature currently in Monterey at 61 degrees Celsius, which kind of explains why you see the energy in these players and the ability to have those high pressing intensity actions consistently for these opening 40 minutes.
61 degrees Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit, sorry.
Celsius.
There's the British coming out. But yeah, looking at the temperatures across the US, we often see the speed of play drop a little bit as we hit the summer, as the temperature gets a little higher. A little more challenge to sustain those high intensity efforts over the duration of the game.
Sandwich there. Rafael Baca Jr. and Connor Donovan as well. Picks up a bit of a knock.
Sacramento sandwich there.
volume of free kicks for Monterey Bay. The unfortunate part is so many have taken place near midfield. This is perhaps a more dangerous opportunity. Martinez will have to reset this ball, a 25-year-old who played collegiately on this field as well. They share it with Cal State Monterey Bay. 24 caps with El Salvador as well. Martinez stings this ball around. And yet again, in the attacking area, Monterey Bay unable to get ahead to it. Green pokes it out. 5 more minutes to go here, plus stoppage time in this first half. Michael Wattrain, Chris Nurse, and our crew, thanks for tuning in here tonight. Pretty simple why we sit at 0-0. Good chances for Sacramento, 7 shots to 2 the lead in a high-octane first half. They've just put the ball right at Anthony Siaha too frequently.
Very rare that you watch a 0-0 game and you can honestly say that it's been a good game to watch and it's been exciting to watch, it's been entertaining, but that has been the case in his opening 40 minutes. It's been a very end-to-end affair. It's been a little bit of flair, excitement. There's been a little bit of tenacity, opportunities for both teams, dynamic. It'll just be interesting to see which team is able to break that deadlock and get the go-ahead goal first.
Very much has had the field. This Northern California derby. 186 miles separate the two towns. Depending on traffic, anywhere in the 3-hour to 3.5-hour neighborhood to make the drive.
I think the key for both teams is that they've tried to play more vertical passes than lateral passes. Sometimes we get a little bit bogged down in possession-based soccer and everything is sideways and backwards for the sake of keeping possession, but they very much look to go forward when the opportunity presents itself.
Pass with plenty on it, flag up for offside. And there's a deflection and a takeaway for a moment. Timmer cleans it up for at least this second. Martinez.
I was just about to comment on the eagerness of both keepers when they get possession to get the ball back into play quickly. As Vitello in this instance, and his team wasn't quite set up correctly when he rolled that ball out and it was stolen off the toes of his centre-back. Fortunately, it didn't turn into a goal-scoring opportunity.
Monterey Bay eyeing a late first half goal. Baca falls to the ground, gathers.
The technical ability of this Monterey Bay team is pretty impressive. They're playing one-touch passes between the lines, which is difficult to do with accuracy, but also on the same page, and they have chemistry. Players have an idea where the ball's going to go. They're making runs at the right moments into the right spaces. They're just not seeing that final pass forward. So despite the position they're having, the ball ends up recirculating backwards rather than forwards to create shots or goal-scoring opportunities.
55% possession right now for Monterey Bay. 2 shots rather, none on goal.
Let me try this word one more time. Recirculating.
There you go.
I got it,
yeah,
thank you.
There you go. Good work.
Tongue twister myself.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Martinez splits 2. Enriquez can't latch on.
See, there's me trying to sound eloquent instead of just saying passing the ball around. As I just say passing the ball around, I don't get stuck on my words. When I try to get too eloquent and say recirculating, trip myself up.
Word economy, though. Here's a header. Baca Jr. Overload to the right. Now numbers flood the 18. Bends out. And another corner kick here for Monterey Bay in the waning seconds of this first half. Brought to you by Bagel Corner.
Of course, this is where we see Guzman arriving in the box, posing those deadly threat from set pieces. If the delivery on this ball is right, it's a great opportunity for Monterey Bay to take the lead just before half-time in swinging delivery.
Walmer Martinez gets the call. Whips this ball all the way to the back post. Guzman attempted to get there. Baca Jr.'s volley! Vitiello denies.
Great technique here from Baca. Positioned in the right place at the right time. The ball comes out. Beautiful first touch to get it under control, and the volley is everything. It's on target, it's dipping. Velocity, speed, power. Keeper was just positioned well to make a great save there. Vitello in between the sticks. Thought the delivery is a little bit overhit. Forced to the edge of the box. Baca here with a chest. Dipping volley. Brilliant save there from Vitello.
The 2023 USL Championship Goalkeeper of the Year showcases his skill. 1 minute of first half stoppage time. Martinez bends. Baca again to the second ball. No chance to shoot this one. Martinez back on it. Guzman tumbles, no foul.
Great defensive work here from Herrera. He's a striker, but he comes back on corners, doing his defensive responsibilities very well, heading the ball away there in the near post area.
Foul whistled, and Herrera is shown a yellow card as well.
Yeah, it's very unnecessary here. It's 1 minute to half time, and he's making petulant fouls, pushing players in the back. It's completely unnecessary.
What you think there? Anything?
Nah, I think he uses his body well, pokes the ball away. I think it was the second one there where he pushes the defender in the back unnecessarily, goes into the referee's booking. The stoppage time of the first half, completely unnecessary. His coach will be frustrated about that.
Herrera, after missing last week with a red card, picks up the first yellow of this match. And the final moment here in the first half will be the second latest first half goal of the season for Monterey Bay, if they find one. How generous will Matthew Thompson be with his time?
And these are the moments now where Herrera needs to be careful. You saw him now just got a yellow card. When he goes to pressure defenders now, he has to be very careful not to do anything petulant.
Guzman and a yellow, easily taken in the end. And the first half whistle blows. It had everything, Chris, in this first half, but a goal.
Yeah, everything except the goals. Had the chances, had poor finishing, had poor defending, had some great creative play, some brilliant first touch passing, 1 and 2 touch passing, some brilliant build-up play. Just lacking that quality in the finish for both teams in the final third. But everything else up to there has been good. Some brilliant saves from goalkeepers. We saw that save from Vitello. We saw great strike from Baca. I expect to see more of the same at 0-0, but it was an entertaining first half to say the least.
This tug of war is a standstill now. Scoreless at the half. Monterey Bay and Sacramento. Our halftime report comes your way when we return.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montrio, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? Call Coast Auto Insurance to receive a free quote and see how much you could save. Coast works with over 50 different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate for your car, motorcycle, home, or business. Coast is a local company with local people. We do vehicle registration, SR22, and insurance for Mexico. Call Coast Auto Insurance today for a free quote and see how much we can save you. Or go to coastautoinsurance.com, where your peace of mind is guaranteed.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy, game-winning interception, first down, just a nice solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
It's halftime here in Seaside between Sacramento and Monterey Bay. Let's look back at last week's Save of the Week and Goal of the Week.
It will be Hilton. Right-footed ball, really good ball, and reaching save from Danny Vidiello. May have been outside the post either way, but Danny Vidiello taking no chances.
Line to the right side. And that ball is struck and put in the lower left side. Robbie Dambrot, he lets go of a rocket.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
What a moment.
Rolls it across, Cheney leaves it, Galindres! Regulation time, Doyle, headed up in front, rebound, scores!
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. And running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Let's go! I'm about to make my grand entrance.
Do you want to go to the game tonight?
Let's go! I am the future, yeah. I am the future, yeah. Let's go. I am the future, yeah. 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 Let's go. I am the future, yeah. I am the
Montage Health, your hometown team.
Halftime here in Seaside, scoreless at the break. Tonight's halftime presented by Integris Wealth Management. Scoreless in what has been an entertaining opening 45 minutes of play. Let's take a look at the news and notes from around the USL as we enter the month of June. May Player of the Month nominees, Ronaldo Damas, excellent month for him. Hugo Farreau has been terrific for Loudoun defensively. San Antonio acquires Jake LaCava from Charleston Battery, signing him to a multi-year deal. And we talked about it earlier, Justin Portillo, after a couple years in New Mexico, signed in the offseason with FC Tulsa, and now with Sacramento Republic, and he's made an impact here so far tonight. Looking at scores from around the league in the championship so far, Maxi Rodriguez scores the opener for Detroit. They take out Rhode Island by a 2-0 final. A 1-1 draw between Memphis and Colorado Springs. Sean Tosh's penalty ends up propelling Lou City over North Carolina, and Diego Pacheco with 2 goals, and the team that was at the bottom of the league in the Western Conference, FC Tulsa, takes out San Antonio. New Mexico, the league leaders in the West, lead Hartford Athletic 1-0. U.S. Open Cup is about a month away or so. Here's your matchup. Sacramento gets a chance to host Seattle. That will be an absolute dandy. LAFC hosts New Mexico. Indy 11 goes to Atlanta, and then the all-MLS matchup, Sporting Kansas City and Dallas. Those matches will be played July 9th and July 10th. Should be fun ones to see if, let's see if a USL Championship side can end this little drought and end this little run for MLS teams over the last couple decades. Scoreless here at the break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the highlights and the stats from the opening 45, and we'll kick off the second half as well. Hang with us. We'll have more when we come back.
At Integris Wealth Management, we know what it takes to be a good teammate. For 25 years, we've been your trusted ally. We are local and independent. We care for our clients' money as if it were our own. We believe in doing the right thing and work together to find big wins for you. Integris Wealth Management. We turn values into action and champion livelihoods.
Neither side has been able to break through so far as we put a bow here on our Integris Wealth Management halftime report. Monterey Bay and Sacramento without a goal so far. It's the 9th time in 13 matches that Sacramento has held its opposition without a first half goal. Only Tampa Bay and Charleston have done so more frequently. But right out of the gates, these two sides had some great chances at the beginning. This one came 90 seconds in, and Nick Ross couldn't finish.
Great opportunity for Sacramento here. 3v2, straight down the throat of Siaha. Fairly straightforward save for him. Poor finishing. Sacramento could have took the lead in the opening 2 minutes. Unfortunately, wasted opportunity.
Then we went nearly 20 minutes without a shot until Portillo wound one up.
From distance here, Portillo showing what he brings. Behind a lot of bodies, gets the shot off. Although it may have seemed straightforward, very difficult for Siaha to see, but positioned well to deal with it.
And then Phillips had another chance 6 yards away. Siaha gets a left foot to it, pings it away, and that kept it scoreless. After 30 minutes without a shot, Enriquez had a chance at a volley now.
There we see build-up play, dynamic. Once it's drilled across the box, Dixon is a little bit high. Enriquez, difficult volley. Does well to connect with it, but just unable to guide it on target.
Once again, Kieran Phillips had a chance as this ball from Jack Gurr came in. Phillips gets ahead, but all Anthony Siaha in the opening 45.
Great delivery, does well to connect with it, but straight down the middle is going to be very easy for Siaha. You're not going to beat him with that kind of opportunity.
And then this last chance in the 45th minute, a volley from Baca.
Great strike here from Baca. Ball comes across, edge of the box, controls it on his chest. The volley's dipping, it's swerving. Vitello does ever so well to see this, get two hands on it and push it away.
Here are your stats from the opening 45 minutes of play. 4 saves for Siaha, 1 for Vitiello. Possession favors Monterey Bay, but so far neither side has been able to hit the net in that first 45 minutes of action here. 6th meeting, Sacramento 3 wins, 2 losses so far in this series between these two clubs. How do one of these sides get a goal in the second half?
Yeah, I think with Monterey Bay, they played well. They moved the ball well. They're very dynamic in the attack. However, with Sacramento Republic, you're coming up against the stingiest defense in both the Eastern and the Western Conference. only conceded 9 goals so far this season. So you can see how Monterey Bay may be struggling to create goal-scoring opportunities given how good Sacramento's defense has been so far this year. But they've played well, Monterey Bay, moved the ball well, been very dynamic in the wings, just not been able to create any meaningful shots outside of the shot from Baca that's really tested Vitello in goal. On the other hand, they've created great opportunities for themselves. They've just not been clinical in front of goal. Finishing has been poor. Hence, we find ourselves with a good 0-0 first half.
This is what backs this up. Final third entries, Monterey Bay 48, Sacramento 17, but each side has 10 touches inside of the opponent's box. Monterey Bay has very much played in the attacking third in this one, but haven't quite been able to find those finishing pieces once they get the ball into the 18-yard box. It is a full-time final. New Mexico holds off Hartford Athletic. Daniel Bruce's goal in the 86th minute proves to be the difference in that match. So that allows the Western Conference leaders, New Mexico, to sit on 25 points right now, trying to get a little bit of separation between Sacramento and Monterey Bay, who sit 3 and 5 points behind, respectively.
And if you look at the way that the two teams have defended, if you look at the way that Monterey Bay have defended today, you can completely understand why they conceded almost double the amount of goals as Sacramento Republic. However, you look at the way Monterey Bay have played, they played well, but if you look at the way Sacramento have defended, you can completely see why they've only conceded 9 goals. But despite the way that Monterey Bay have been able to move the ball and the dynamic players they have and the runs in behind, they've not been able to break down the Sacramento defense and really create any meaningful goal-scoring opportunities inside the box, apart from the volley that we saw from both Baca and earlier we saw the volley from Enriquez.
Sacramento makes one change. Sebastian Herrera, who picked up a yellow card at the very end of that first half, is taken off, and Christian Parano, the 23-year-old Argentinian, comes on here at halftime. Parano, 15 goals in his USL Championship career.
Yeah, I remember him as a young talent coming through San Antonio. Started off as a 16-year-old. Looks a little older than 16 now.
USL Championship Young Player of the Year in 2019, had 7 goals and 6 assists, bursting onto the scene. Well, Monterey Bay have failed to score now 9 times this year in the first half, second most in the league. Second half play underway. It is Sacramento in the Stone Whites this evening, Monterey Bay in the Navy Blues. Michael Watring, Chris Nurse, and our crew, thanks for tuning in here tonight. And an early corner kick in the second half, starting very much the way the first half ended. A Bengal corner coming here. And Justin Portillo will run over there, was acquired via transfer from FC Tulsa 2 days ago, and now he's set up here for this team's set pieces. Portillo bends it around. Again, doesn't beat the first man. And it's good hustle to get to that second ball from Enriquez to reset the shape.
Similar for both teams. If you're the center backs and you run 60 yards up and the delivery doesn't enter the box, you're fuming. It doesn't give you a chance to attack the ball, let alone score when it's unable to beat the first man.
Frank Gallup said that if we outwork Sacramento in this match, they have a chance to win. Work rate hasn't been an issue. It's been that final third. Green.
And there's one thing you're going to guarantee. If you're going to get an opportunity to score against Sacramento, you're going to have to work for it. They're not going to give it to you very easily. You're not going to get easy chances against them. They're the stingiest team, 9 goals conceded, which is the lowest between both conferences for a reason, because they defend exceptionally well as a unit and both individually.
They have allowed 20 or more shots in 2 of their last 3, including last week. Tampa Bay had 10 shots on target and 20 total, but today just 3 shots for Monterey Bay. Quickly around the pitch it goes. Gert, Parano, his first touch. Goal kick.
Sac Republic substitution in halftime brought to you by
Sacramento winless in their last 4. They haven't gone 5 straight without a win since October of 2021 when they went 6 in a row without a win. A team that hasn't won a USL Championship match in 7 weeks, albeit they've won 2 US Open Cup matches in that time, including one against Monterey Bay.
Yeah, I think that they're just missing that 15-20 goal striker potentially. They move the ball well. They just need that player on the end of the balls who has that killer instinct. We haven't really had too much mention on Gonzalez in terms of goal scoring opportunities, and equally with Dixon, there was the one chance where he's in the box and the delivery is delivered to the far post for Enriquez rather than being drilled across the front post. But we haven't really mentioned either of their names in terms of having any clear-cut goal scoring opportunities.
Alex Dixon, a career-high 12 goals last season, just 1 so far this year, and it was a penalty kick goal in mid-April.
And this is, go ahead.
Gonzalez only has 1 goal as well as in the same match.
And that's the sticking point. Every team, every successful team, you need that striker that's going to have 12, 15 goals at this stage of the season. Markanich has that right now. Eastern Conference for Charleston. However, I think this is where we see the disparity between the Eastern and the Western Conference in terms of goal differential.
That's an excellent idea. Gurr couldn't get onto it, and it just does miss his foot.
Is having that striker that can get you 12 and 15 goals. For the way Monterey Bay play in their possession and their build-up, that conversion in the final third is the sticking point where they don't necessarily get the rewards for some of their play.
Each of the top 5 goal scorers in the league this season are in the Eastern Conference. 6 of the top 7, including teammates Markanich and Myers of Charleston and Arteaga and Jennings of Tampa Bay. Western Conference finally starts to show themselves, but a lot of the Western Conference leading goal scorers sit at about 5 for the year at this point. Gurr winds up. Portillo chooses the middle. Felipe Ross commits the foul.
And of course, New Mexico ended up winning today 1-0. So the points differential between New Mexico and Monterey Bay currently sits at 5 points. So if Monterey Bay were to win today, they wouldn't quite jump into first place anymore ahead of New Mexico. However, if Monterey Bay do get the win, they would jump above Sacramento into second place by just 1 point. If Sacramento win, that gap will widen between Monterey and Sacramento, who will sit on 25 points alongside New Mexico. And Sacramento will actually jump top by goal differential.
Here's Dixon. And again, cannot find space. Had runners. Remillar was in there. Ball goes out, so it's a throw. A good sign for Monterey Bay is second half goal scoring has been their strong suit. More than half of the team's goals this year have come in the second 45. And when you expand that to the first half, with 3 goals scored in the 45th minute or later, that's 11 of the team's 15 goals that come in the final 45 minutes of play.
Especially at home when you have that 12th man support. You're on your home field, you have the familiarity with everything. The fans get behind you a little bit more. Just say the ball movement has slowed down a little bit. It's not as fluid and precise as it was in the first half.
Gonzalez chases. Shielded by Desmond. Good sign for Frank Yallop is Tristan Traeger is available tonight. The team's leading goal scorer with 5. Has missed the last 3 with a rib injury and is available off the bench this evening.
Monterey Bay do have a fairly hefty injury list. missing a number of key players.
Six different players listed as out this evening.
With these rosters carrying maybe 24 players in total, that's almost a quarter of the roster unavailable. If the roster is as big as 24, 24 would be considered a fairly big roster. That's a significant number of players missing, 6.
Joining the attack, Viader. Funnels it along. Phillips! Ripples the rope. Finally, Sacramento get the goal. And Sac Republic is out in front 1-0.
Finally, some clinical finishing from Sac Republic. A great through pass, a diagonal run, and in this opportunity, Phillips, clinical with his finishing, clips it over Siaha to give his team the lead. The run is brilliant, the finish is brilliant. Redeems himself for a couple of chances he missed earlier in the game. Gets his team the go-ahead goal. Brilliant finish there from Phillips.
Phillips' 4th goal in his last 3 matches. He's been excellent in the U.S. Open Cup. He scored against Monterey Bay in the opening half hour of the Open Cup to seal it 2-0 on May 7th. And after every ball seemed to be attracted to Anthony Siaha, finally, Phillips finds the run and the goal.
And there's a common trait of really good players is the ability to forget quickly. Obviously, Phillips had a couple of opportunities in the first half that was straight down the throat of Siaha that he should have probably done better with. But having that ability to forget and just focus on the next opportunity is probably exactly why he was able to convert that one the way he did. Composure, the timing of the run, the execution of the finish gives his team the go-ahead goal. Good strikers, you're always going to get opportunities. You're not going to score every one, but it's the ability to stay connected to your mind and know that believing in yourself, and when the next opportunity comes, taking it. And I'm sure his teammates would have forgiven him for the couple he missed when he turns the hardest one. The harder one out of the 3 is the one he ends up converting.
10th time this year that Sacramento has scored the opening goal. How does Monterey Bay respond, being down 1?
Exactly that. How do they respond now? Chasing the game against one of the tightest defenses in USL Championship. They've been vulnerable in the counter-attack, and now chasing the game is inevitable. You probably open yourself up a little bit more, which means that you're going to become even more vulnerable on the counter-attack. So whilst they do need to be a little bit more aggressive now and on the front foot a little bit more than they were previously, they still need to ensure that their defensive shape or proactive defending is to the highest level.
Sacramento have only given up multiple goals twice this year. Once was in the opener against Orange County. The other against Rhode Island 3 matches ago. And that ends a drought of roughly 230 minutes without a goal.
We've spoken how they have looked defensively vulnerable tonight. And there were earlier chances for Sacramento they should have taken, and 10 minutes into the second half, Sacramento do exactly that.
It's officially 234 minutes between goals for a team that had been shut out in back-to-back matches. First goal since the 90+3 equalizer by Jonathan Ricketts against Rhode Island. On May 11th. Mark Briggs, 3rd coach in USL Championship history to reach 100 career wins. And now a much maligned and injured group sees another man hop over, 29-year-old Moby Fair, who scored twice this season after he had just 2 goals in his first 99 career USL Championship matches. And it looks like they're going to have to give Javi Nalati, the 19-year-old, and indeed they will have to bring in Nalati, who spent the last 3 years in San Diego but only appeared 6 times with the Loyal. Sometimes in moments like these, opportunities are given to players that you might not expect because of the injuries that occur throughout the season, and because of a long list of injuries for Frank Yallop's group. It is Nalati coming in.
And things get a little bit tighter in the Western Conference now with the results sitting as they are. Phoenix Rising climbed 19 points. Orange County 18 points. Now things get a little bit more tricky for Monterey Bay. They're currently sitting 3rd, but 1 or 2 more games you could see them easily drop from 3rd to 6th, given the teams below them. So some implications based upon the result of this game.
Phillips keeps it in. Foul whistled. A little bit of that crisp play that we expected from Monterey Bay in the opening 45 hasn't quite been there here in the second half. Phillips chases after it, overruns the ball, and it's poked out of play by Rebelar.
Could have been a call there for a penalty kick. It'd be interesting to see that challenge there on Guzman. Phillips stays on his feet, but we've seen instances there where players go down.
Bagel corner, corner kick.
This will be a Bengal corner for Sacramento. Hooked into the 18. Donovan would have had a piece had it not been deflected. Now on the counter again. Enriquez bobbled for a moment. Dixon catches up to it. Dixon lofts, and it hits the woodwork and goes out yet again. The counterattack so strong for Monterey Bay, but it doesn't lead to a shot on target.
It's a good run in behind here from Dixon. It's Baca who kickstarts the attack with a switch and play it. Always thought it was a little difficult angle here for Dixon here. If he bends it towards the far post, greater chance of scoring, but it's fairly central, and you would expect Vitello to be able to handle that one fairly straightforward. He really needed to put a little more curl on that and bend it away from Vitello, or square it back to his teammate who is central. It was always going to be very challenging to score from that angle, but again, the counter-attack there from Monterey Bay proving to be dangerous once again.
Easily collected after Donor tossed it in. It's a good overlap on this run. A flag up, however, for offside.
Enriquez there making the run in behind. Consistently been an attacking threat on that left-hand side for Monterey Bay tonight. Just a little early in his run, offside, but the intent is there, there's positive intent.
Here's a good run. Parado bangs it in. Sacramento Republic have opened it up. A second goal in less than 10 minutes. This time it's the substitute, Christian Parado, with his first goal of the season. 2-0 Sacramento.
goal scored by Sac Republic's number 10, Christian Blasmino.
Woeful defending from Monterey Bay, but Perano, the composure, the ball bounces. Flicks on, bounces here. Poor judgment from Guzman. Perano just runs in behind, controls it on his chest, calmly volleys it into the back of the net. Past Siaha. 2-0 Sacramento, which it should have been in the first half, but the second half they've been far more clinical in their finishing. 2 clean-cut opportunities, 2 goals. They've made Monterey Bay pay for their mistakes in the second half.
A team that had gone on a 6-match drought without a win. Monterey Bay picked one up last week. They hadn't allowed a goal in 274 minutes. Now they've given up 2 in less than 10. Donor chases. Martinez throws this one around and it ends up out for a goal kick.
Wasted the chance there from Martinez. I've been full of praise for the way Monterey Bay have played, their build-up play, their style, their 1 and 2 passing. But from the first minute of today's game, their defending has been poor. In the first half, Sacramento weren't clinical, didn't punish them for it. In the second half, Sacramento came out with a little bit more ruthless mentality in the final third. And with the 2 chances that they've had, they punished them on both occasions. The problems for Monterey Bay right now, or today, sorry to speak, because up until this point they were fairly good defensively, but today they've been poor defensively and they've been rightfully punished in the second half for some of the defending. And the problem is that for as good as they played with their style in the 1 and 2 touch passing, the way they move the ball, when you lose the goal, when you're losing the game and you concede goals, you lose a little bit of confidence and belief and momentum in your team, and I think we're starting to see that in the second half where things have dropped off significantly for them in the second half now, and Sacramento look a little bit more comfortable than they were in the first half, because it was all Monterey Bay in terms of possession and creation in the first half, and anything but in the second half.
Tristan Traeger returns for the first time since May 11th. He scored against Memphis in that match, and a rib injury has kept him out the last 3. But he is on, can be a difference maker. Somebody that Frank Yallop called a great runner, very active, and somebody that they have no question missed.
Ooh, nice touch.
Ross corrals for a moment, but his pass out of the reach.
A little bit of Brazilian flair there creeping in from Ross.
Less than a half hour to go in this match. It was 0-0 at halftime, 2 goals in 8 minutes by Sacramento. Phillips and then Perano have Sacramento out in front 2-0. Michael Watrain, Chris Nurse, and our crew, it's great to have you with us tonight.
Might have to rename him Rossinho if he keeps plucking the balls out, plucking the ball out the air with the outside of his foot like that.
Monterey Bay have now allowed 4 goals to opponent subs this season, more than any team in the league. Sacramento 2. Monterey Bay 0. This was the final when the team squared off in the round of 32 of the Open Cup. Roughly a month to the day ago. That night it was an own goal and a Phillips strike in the span of 4 minutes. Tonight, Phillips started it in the 54th. Perano added one in the 62nd. That was Monterey Bay bounce back. Monterey Bay have not scored multiple goals since a 2-2 draw against Memphis. They've scored just 4 in their last 7 matches overall, and they've given up 12 now.
And we spoke about this being a derby for these two teams, of course, and Sacramento got the better of them in the Open Cup. So it's important that they respond in these remaining 25 minutes.
Donner. Ultimately out harmlessly. Revelar tangles with Desmond.
If there's one thing that the fans will value and respect, is that irrespective of the result, that the team goes down fighting and battling and competing. And they don't give up, despite the scoreline. I think how they carry themselves or how they continue to fight and get themselves back into the game in these remaining 20 minutes is going to be very important.
These two sides will face off again. The return trip for Monterey Bay to Sacramento in the third to last game of the season. October 9th, it's a Wednesday night matchup. Monterey Bay will get 10 days off between that and their penultimate game, while Sacramento will have the final week of the USL Championship regular season off. Siaha comes out to pick it. What a challenge it's been for Siaha all season long. He's faced 13 more shots on target than any keeper in the league this year.
If your back line in front of you is not solid, you're going to face a lot of shots. If you have a solid back line, yeah, you'll face some shots, but you're not going to face a high volume of shots that he has had to face. And you know, if there's an area to address, I think those statistics itself speaks volumes of it.
This ball thrown in, Siaha catches. To put it into perspective, Vidiello and Mazzola, the two keepers for Sacramento, have faced a combined 34. So roughly half the amount of chances, and that's why the Sacramento team is so stingy.
And have conceded half the amount of goals also.
The fewest in the league with just 9. 70th minute of play, Sacramento 2, Monterey Bay 0. Monterey Bay have scored 6 times in the final 20 minutes of matches this season. They'll need some of that same kind of magic down the stretch here. Revelar makes it a corner as Desmond gets in the way and has it bounce off of him. A Bengal corner this time for Monterey Bay, eyeing at least one here in the next few minutes to make this a dash to the finish line.
This result then, if it were to stay as stands, would send Sacramento to have the best goal differential in the Western Conference, +9. It would send Monterey down to -4 on goal differential.
Orange County trails Phoenix 1-0. Second ball bounces off the defender's back. Third chance now in. Green skies. And his head, the last to touch it as it trickles out harmlessly. Formella scoring in the 6th minute of that really good match. Some really good Western Conference matches tonight. These were 2 of the top 3 teams in the league. That matchup between teams number 4 and 5 in the West. Vidiello looking for his 6th clean sheet of the year.
I think it's good to see a balance of teams that play out from the back and a balance of teams that at times go more direct. I think we went through a phase where every team was playing out from the back, irrespective of the circumstances or whether their opponents were pressing high or whether they're dropping off. They were decided to play. And I think the right thing, you have to play what you see. If the opponents are pressing high, then the space is always going to be behind them. If they're dropping off, then the space is in front of them, and it makes sense to play out. So I think it's knowing the players you have, knowing where you're most comfortable, but also being able to read what the opponents are doing at any phase of play. I think sometimes it can be detrimental when you just have one approach to every circumstance.
Only 6 shots in this match for Monterey Bay. 1 has been on target. Tristan Traeger is so far not factored in to the second half since coming on as a sub less than 10 minutes ago. Chasing after it, latching on Ross, and now a corner coming for Sac Republic. They'll get their 4th of the match. Well, the second half has been much better and much more efficient for Sacramento. 2 shots, 2 goals. Despite just 43% of the possession in the second half and 42% on the night, they have maximized their chances. Portillo winds it up. Boomerangs to the back post. Siaha collides with teammates, but his right paw clears it.
Strong punch there from Siaha.
Gurr flies one in. It's handled well. And now the sprint is on. Traeger wraps it all the way around the back line. Nalati allows everybody to reset. The teenager funnels through the middle. Dixon. And let's see, it's a penalty. Sacramento commits the foul. Jack Gurr comes in, commits the penalty, and Monterey Bay with a chance to get one back.
It'll be interesting to see the replay here. Jack Gurr is convinced that the referee's got this one wrong. Oh. Team Gurr pokes the ball away. Dixon kicks air. Sacramento can feel extremely hard done by. They'll be relying heavily on Vitello here to level things up between the sticks. Interesting that the referee's assistants haven't contributed here and jumped in. I'm sure they had a better view of that situation. Important that players keep their focus and concentration here, because now it can become a big distraction, and 2-1 changes the perception and the direction of this game going into the final 15 minutes. Should they convert the penalty kick?
Viniello has not saved a penalty with Sacramento after he saved 3 in 2 years with Pittsburgh, although he has faced one this season against Phoenix, but that penalty was missed.
It'll be interesting to see that challenge just one more time. Can see here, pokes the ball away, and there's nothing really to call a penalty kick in regards to. He doesn't go to ground. He doesn't really make that much contact with Dixon whatsoever. I agree with Coach Briggs here, shaking his head in disbelief.
Coach is getting a look at it on the sideline. And there's the reaction as Mark Briggs sees it. Last time Vitiello saved a penalty, August 28th, 2021, against Hartford. His team would win by a goal, 3-2.
Goal's not lost yet. Vitello between the sticks has the task of saving it and maintaining Sacramento's clean sheet. No VAR, of course, in the USL Championship, so no opportunity for the referee to review his decision. Traeger coming into the game from the touchline.
Traeger, 5 goals this season in 10 matches, looking to make that 6 in 11 after a few minutes of a delay. Here in the 78th minute, Traeger will take the PK. Vitiello looks to preserve a clean sheet.
Little mind games there, Vitiello.
Traeger, the 24-year-old, grew up in San Clemente, California. Went to school at Air Force. Waits for the whistle here from Thompson. Tristan Traeger, cross steps, strikes, Vitiello saves! How did he get a piece of that? His first save since 2021 and first in a Sac Republic uniform, preserves the clean sheet.
We have to say justice was served. We posed question marks on whether it was a penalty kick to begin with. And Vitiello did what he needed to do, maintain his team's clean sheet, and justice was served in the end.
It's the old saying, ball don't lie. It did not there. Traeger would want that one back.
I think Mark Briggs will be a little bit calmer in his post game. Had that gone into the back of there, I think he would have been raging. We might have heard some crazy expletives, but I think his goalkeeper's done what he would have asked the referee to do initially.
Nearly a breakaway. Felipe swings at it, and it trickles out. And it's been one of those nights for Monterey Bay. They were so strong in the first 45 minutes of play, never really could get a good shot attempt. They concede twice in 8 minutes. They finally get a chance, a real good chance on the penalty. Albeit perhaps in some eyes a phantom penalty, but Traeger unable to get it past the cleat of Vitiello. And now here's Nalani. Waits for it. Traeger another go at it. Cuts off his angle.
Sacramento doing such a good job there to close down spaces so quick. See Traeger there looking for the pass in behind to the runner, but so many bodies for Sacramento behind the ball. They're able to just shut those passing lanes.
80th minute of a match that has had it all tonight. High-octane first half, neither side scored. In the second half, less than 10 minutes in, Kieran Phillips breaks through in the 54th minute, ends a drought for Sacramento that lasted 234 minutes without a goal. And 8 minutes later, the substitute from halftime, Christian Pirano, scores in the 62nd minute. 2-0 Sacramento. In the 74th minute, Jack Gurr called for a penalty, despite, from what we saw, no real contacts of his own against Alex Dixon. After 4 minutes of a delay, Tristan Traeger, who's missed 3 straight matches, steps to the dot, sends it right down the middle. Vitiello dives left, gets the right cleat out there just in time to fling it over the top of the bar. And the storylines have been plentiful here tonight. An entertaining, exciting matchup, but no goals for Monterey Bay. And 2 second-half strikes from Sacramento. You have the team that was unbeaten through 11 before last week's first loss of the year at Tampa Bay. Out in front 2-0. Michael Watring, Chris Nurse taking you through the rest of this one. Thanks for tuning in. And frustration mounting now for the Crispin Kelp. And Martinez is going to go into the books as well.
A little bit of frustration here creeping in from Monterey Bay. Maybe a little bit gamesmanship from Sacramento also. Martinez clashing there with Gurr, who doesn't go down easily by any means whatsoever, so playing the game a little bit. Gets Martinez into the book, but that's just frustrations boiling over from Monterey Bay throughout the course of the game.
Changes here, brought to you by BBSI. For Sacramento, Trevor Amon, the team's leading goal scorer with 6, joins Jonathan Ricketts on the field. They replace Nick Ross and Kieran Phillips.
Phillips got himself on the score sheet second half after missing a couple opportunities in the first half. Got his team the go-ahead goal. Good little run, good little finish. Monterey Bay for sure will be frustrated in their performance in the second half. Potentially losing at home in front of their home fans. Opportunity to separate themselves with the teams below.
Toronto shot sent right back to him. It's a short history for Monterey Bay. This is their 3rd season as a club. But playing at home has been light years better than their road record. They are 3 matches over 500 at home with a plus 11 goal differential. On the road, they're 13 games under 500, 11 wins in 41 tries, minus 41 goal differential. Milati sends it forward. Traeger sprints onto it. Traeger shoots. Vitiello again. A menace. Blocks that one away.
Traeger just coming into the game offering something a little bit different. It's the willingness to run in behind here. You see he takes off. Finds him with the through ball in behind, but tries to go across the keeper with his left foot. Vitello does well to push it away from goal.
The dynamic that he's been missing.
Nolati with the through pass.
Headed in. Then Rempelar skies it over the top. Unmarked in space. 2 chances. There have been plenty of those for Monterey Bay tonight. Just haven't been able to score.
Vitiello fuming with some of his defenders there, allowing the free header. Looking to maintain his clean sheet.
Wants a ball. Drift back towards midfield. In the first 7 matches of the year, Monterey Bay collected 14 points. Vitiello picks this one up. If this result holds, the last 8 matches would net this club 5 points. A tale of 2 campaigns so far here into June.
You can see what Traeger brings to this attack.
Another shove, this time not a penalty. That seemed more clear than the Gurr penalty that was whistled as Timmer takes him out.
Traeger has the ability to keep them in possession. He has the willingness to run in behind. Obviously, has the ability to finish plays. He'll definitely add to this attack as they go forward now that he's returned from injury.
Baca in, Traeger chases, Vitiello punches. Ultimately, it comes over again, Donor.
He's quickly become a focal point of a lot of the attacks from Monterey Bay since he's come into the field. Traeger.
Donor. Funnels wide left. Morano now defending. Loses his mark. Vitiello again. Gets the right paw to it and chips it away.
Great individual effort there.
Rebelar in. Baca volleys. And it ends up wide.
Baca had an opportunity earlier in the first half with his right foot volley. This time it's his left foot. He doesn't quite connect as sweet as he'd have liked to, but great opportunity here. Oh, that was a penalty call that the referee deemed was not a penalty.
Didn't have a lot on it. Traeger bringing his footsteps in. 90th minute now. Sacramento continues to lead on the heels of 2 second-half goals. One from Phillips, one from Pirano. 8 minutes apart.
Monterey Bay will be happy to see Traeger return to the field. You can see he has a goal threat, has an instinct in and around the 18-yard box, which was maybe what was lacking a little bit. Had he been in the first half, he may have seen a little bit more conversion from the opportunities and the possession that they had created, but
two changes for Sacramento again. Rafael Jauregui comes in, Villader comes out, and Alder Sanchez replaces Jack Gurr.
Exiting the match, number 2, Jack Gurr, and number 3, Damia Mazdu. Entering the match, number 15, Rafael Jauregui, and number 40, Aldair Sanchez.
Eight minutes of stoppage time here in the second half.
yeah, we had a couple injuries
8 minutes of stoppage time.
early in the second half that stopped play for a significant period of time.
Anthony Siaha, 4 more saves tonight. Not much he could have done about the 2 that he allowed this evening. Jauregui pounds that ball against the backside of Carlos Guzman.
You just thought Jauregui would have took that one to his left foot. His favored right foot was taking him away from goal. Had he took it into his left foot, probably had a little bit more success in getting a shot on target there.
Matthew Thompson stops play, runs all the way over to the sideline. Now he's got the red card out. There's somebody on the bench that he's going to show a red card to. The 4th official saying that there was somebody over there
overstepping their boundaries.
They have been ejected from the match.
Looks like it's Jack Gurr, actually.
Correction, the direct red card was given to Sac Republic's number 2, Jack Gurr.
Yeah, Jack Gurr, who was super frustrated in the first half, gets shown a red card, and that is critical because now he is to miss the next match, and that's a home match against Oakland.
Head coach will be super frustrated. He's got no business getting a red card when you're sitting down as a substitute. You've just been taken out of the game. And he was probably taken out of the game to protect him from getting sent off. And then you still find a way when you're off to get sent off.
Well, this match indeed has checked about every box. If you had bingo, this would be one of those nights where some of those squares that you might not expect, that's exactly what happened. Splitting defenders, drawing a foul. Fine work that time around by Pirano. And Kai Green commits the infraction. Time continues to drift off the clock. We're going to play a boatload of minutes here in extra time tonight. Now off for the restart. Tonight's man of the match is presented by Golden Memorial, and it's Rafael Baca Jr., who had just a terrific volley early in this match and has been a focal point to this team's attack in the midfield. The 34-year-old, our man of the match, presented by Golden Memorial.
Yeah, he's been very industrious tonight. Unfortunately, he's on the receiving end of a loss. He was one of the better players from Monterey Bay tonight.
Well, in this match, we've seen 2 goals. We've seen a phantom penalty given, a penalty kick saved, a penalty that we thought should have been a penalty not called.
Seen a red card to a player who was substituted from the bench.
So we've seen just about everything you could possibly see, and I feel like that 8 minutes no longer accurate considering that red card was shown 3 minutes into second half stoppage time. Viniello corrals his first save in the USL Championship's regular season with Sacramento. Minutes away from his 6th clean sheet of the year, the league leader. The 28-year-old from Massapequa, New York. Now Baca and Luis Felipe have words.
Started off the game so brightly, Monterey Bay. Gradually gone downhill from the second half onwards. Just struggled to have that chemistry, that energy, that cohesion that they displayed in the first half, and it's becoming a little bit petulant now in the closing stage of this game.
Hard collision on the sideline. Looked like Carlos Guzman took the majority of that. Or no, check that. That's Maury Donor.
I think we'll be seeing closer to 10 minutes of additional time given the stoppages that we've seen in added time so far.
Sacramento didn't trail in the first 1,000+ minutes this season, losing last week. Looking to rebound tonight. Donor doesn't get enough of that ball. Ends into a throw. Last season, Sacramento was 5-1-0 after a loss and a +10 goal differential.
Interesting how deep Dixon's found himself now. Earlier in the game, he was the focal point in the attack. He's now very much almost in the defensive line.
It's a corner kick here for Monterey Bay. A team that's been shut out 4 times in the last 7. Vinny Yellow. Shut out in any of the first 7, in danger of the 5th time in the last 8 matches without a goal. Donor against Donovan. Viniello got a piece. 2 Sacramento defenders getting out of the 18. Match back on. Long distance shot. Just over the top of the crossbar. Viniello asking for the official to check his watch.
Enriquez again threatening from that left-hand side.
Viniello hoping that when his black boot hits the ball, that's the end of it. Not quite yet.
Approaching the 100th minute of play.
And we won't get there. Matthew Thompson blows his whistle, and Sacramento Republic back in the win column, and a clean sheet at that. 2-0 the final score here this evening, as Sacramento Republic wins this Northern California derby. Final score tonight, 2-0, as Sacramento wins this match here this evening. Has to be a frustrating night for Monterey Bay here tonight, as they've now had just 5 points in the last 8 matches. But Sacramento wins it 2-0. Highlights, stats, wrapping things up when we come back. It's a night where 2 sides were high octane from the jump, but it's Sacramento that walks away with 3 points. Kieran Phillips scores in the 54th minute. Christian Pirano in the 62nd, but that tells just a small sample of tonight's story. It was electric this evening. Michael Watring, Chris Nurse wrapping things up here from Seaside, California. And after neither side broke through in the first half, this ball ended up with Kieran Phillips, and what a great finish.
Blader driving inside, Phillips with a diagonal run in behind. On this occasion, he makes it count. Lil Dink over CRR in goal, gives his team the lead, 1-0, Sacramento Republic.
Ended a streak of 234 minutes without a goal for Sac Republic. It'd been 274 since the team scored against Monterey Bay, but they give up a second in 8 minutes as Pirano bangs it home.
Woeful defending here. Guzman just caught going the wrong direction. Pirano runs in behind, clinical, controls in his chest, buries into the back of the net. 2-0 gives Sioha no chance in the back of the net.
Jack Gurr would be called for a penalty here in this sequence, although when we looked at the replay, didn't see a lot to it.
Yeah, this definitely wasn't a penalty. However, Vitiello came up big in goal.
Tristan Traeger, the substitute, his first match since May 11th, somehow saw Vitiello get both feet to that ball.
You can see he enjoyed that save.
First penalty kick save for him of his Sacramento Republic regular season tenure. Take a look at the stats. Monterey Bay would end up out shooting Sacramento, but the quality of chances was the ultimate difference tonight.
Yeah, Monterey Bay started the game very well, but as we spoke about, Sacramento, a very, very strong defense. Against another team, result could be completely different, but Monterey Bay's defending today was very poor. They started the second half in the same way they started the first half, giving up 2 chances, except for in the second half, Sacramento Republic punished them. In the first half, they didn't punish them for the chances they created. Second half, they did punish them. Sacramento rightfully run away tonight as winners.
Monterey Bay falls at home for just the second time this season and the first since May 4th. Sacramento on the other side, back in the win column. 8 in a row unbeaten on the road dating back to last season. 2-0 is the final tonight. For my partner Chris Nurse, I'm Michael Watching signing off. Thanks so much for watching. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.